In this clip, I'm going to look at drawing graphs and how to get the most marks for them or all the marks for them in an exam. The first thing you need to contemplate is what type of graph have you been asked to draw. So, what type of graph? And it will only be one of two things. It will either be a bar graph or it will be a line graph. So once you've established those, which I'll tell you in question, you need to think about what you're going to get your marks for. So one of the things you get your marks for is putting on the labels and units. So make sure you put labels and units. On both axes. And you tend to get 2 marks for drawing the graph in the exam. So the first one you get for putting your labels, units and a scale on, and the second you get for actually plotting the points and physically drawing the graph, either the lines or the bars. So you get a mark for putting the labels, units and the scale. So you need to make sure you use an appropriate scale. And what do I mean by an appropriate scale? One that uses more than half the graph paper. So we've now drawn the bones of a graph, we've got a scale that's appropriate, we've got labels and units on both axes, so it's now time to actually plot it. So for a line graph, you want to plot your points accurately. You want to join your points with a ruler. And don't join your line to 0. Unless there is a 0 value. And for a bar graph, you want to draw the bars accurately. And if you're going to shade, do it neatly. So that's all the key points about drawing a graph. So what I've done is I found an example from a past paper. So in this question, you have this looking at the effect of the lead ion concentration on respiration in yeast, and 2 flasks are set up as described below, and you've got information for flask A and flask B. Then I have a results table, and it provides a grid, and it says draw a line graph to show the oxygen concentration of flask A against time. So for this, the first thing you want to take into account is the information that's in the question. The information in the question says on the grid provided draw a line graph, which is a key point, and it's for flask A. So if we pull up the information alongside this grid, what we can see is we have information for flask A and flask B, so we're interested in this information here, this information for flask A, and we're looking to plot this as a line graph on the grid. Now, back to the question, and in the question it shows, I'll take this away. In the question, it shows draw a line graph to show the oxygen concentration, so this is also a key point, and we want to show oxygen concentration against time. So that tells you what to put on those 2 axes. So as we said, we're looking at this information here, and we want to plot this on the graph. The first thing you want to do is you want to put your labels on both axes. So we're going to put time on this axis here, and time is in seconds. And up this side we're doing oxygen concentration, and it is in milligrams per litre. That's us. We've put a label and an axis, a label and a unit on both axes. We're now going to think about our scale. Now, if I put my scale so that every 5 boxes was one of these values, what you would see very quickly is that our graph would be very, very small. You'd have 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, and we wouldn't be covering half the graph paper. Now, based on what I've told you, that's not the sort of scale you want to use. So, what we will do is we'll try it with every 10 boxes being 20. So, if we go along here, and what you can see is it fits perfectly on that graph paper. So that's us now got a scale on the bottom axis, and we also want to put scale on the top, on the up the side axis. And what we need to do is go up as far as our highest value, which is 10.2. On this one we can go up with every 5 boxes being a value. And in this one they're more clear, where the dark lines are showing the main lines in the graph. And as they've got decimal point in the table, we'll put decimal points on the side of the graph as well. So 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, 7.0, 8.0, 9.0, 10.0, and 11.0. So we now have likely one of the marks out of the two. We've not actually drawn anything on our graph yet, but we've got 2 labels, we've got 2 sets of units, and we've got a scale that uses up more than half of the graph paper. Now what I want to do is I want to plot my points. At 0 I'm at 10.2, at 20 I'm at 8.4, at 60 I'm at 6.1, no sorry, at 40 I'm at 6.1, at 60 I'm at 3.8, at 80 I'm at 1.7, at 100 I'm at 0.2, and at 120 I'm at 0.0. Now in this instance here, for 120 we actually have a 0 value, therefore you have to put it on the graph. Now what we want to do is we want to join these dots. Mine goes slightly off scale when I put up my shapes inside to do this, however it will join up afterwards and I get a nice blue line for some reason. But what you can see is I'm joining my dots accurately, I'm joining them point to point, and I'm using a ruler to do it. So what you need to ensure is that you do that, you join them point to point and you use a ruler. As you can see now I've got a full graph, and that full graph should get you 2 marks. It's got labels on both axes, it's got units on both axes, it's got an appropriate scale where you use more than half the graph paper, and I've joined my points accurately and I've joined them with a ruler. That's it for drawing graphs.